You're on the wrong page, by the way.
No.
Because we did this.
Wait. We're on Tav Kuf Mem Beis.
Right. That's correct.
Okay,
But that's not. But that's not. You're just trying to see. No, we're Tav Kuf Mem Beis. You tried to trick me, I know. Doesn't help. Anyways, I would like to start this halacha with a fascinating question. You don't, Dr. Cohen, you don't have this issue. You never have to work on Shabbos, do you? So you don't have that. You don't have that doctor issue. What?
Made sure of it.
You made sure of it. Okay, that's fine. A doctor has to work on Shabbos. Is he allowed to get paid? Now, in order for me to let you appreciate the question, I would like to share with you a Beis Halevi. A fascinating question Beis Halevi has, and it brings a raya from a pasuk. I have two doctors to go to on Shabbos. Okay, one has two doctors to go to. It's a pekuach nefesh situation. Either he goes to a Shomer Shabbos doctor or a Chiloni doctor. Which one should he go to? Why?
Because Chiloni will Mechal Shabbos more than a Fruma.
Why do you say that?
Because the Fruma will be aware of what is absolutely.
I want to tell you something. Being that nobody over here are doctors and I have to answer this question to, I'd like to make a halachic statement. And I mean it halacha l'maisa, except for when it becomes halacha l'maisa and I have to qualify it. A doctor who is a professional, I will tell him, don't cut corners. Do it on Shabbos exactly as you would do it was the weekdays. Don't be frum. That's what I would say.
Yes, completely. But nevertheless, sometimes there are two ways, and one way will work fine for what you need to do now, and without going there.
I think that's a dangerous road, and you should forget about that at Shabbos, and do whatever you do like it's Tuesday. Because I'm vehemently opposed to what you're saying. Okay. Could be if there would be a halacha l'maisa question, maybe I would change my. But bagadol, your job is to do the best job you can.
Say he won't write us the notes necessarily. He won't charge.
It depends. My doctors are high class guys. They have somebody who writes for them anyways. Anyways, but let's leave. Even your question is a incidental question. Your point that you're raising. The Beis Halevi says a fascinating thing. You should go to the Shomer Shabbos doctor because the Chiloni, he will be Mechal Shabbos anyways. So it goes down on his record as he was Mechal Shabbos. The Charedi, who he's doing it because it's Pekuach Nefesh, so he is not a Mechal Shabbos. They're both doing the exact same act. But being that the other one, he's not, we'll call it onus because of Pekuach Nefesh, so we see it as a blatant act of Chilul Shabbos. And the Charedi, we see it as an act of Atzalas Nefashos and not Chilul Shabbos. A fascinating. Where's the riot to this? Now I'm going to tell you all. You're going to know, if I remember correctly, you're going to know why you are not the Beis Halevi. Because the Beis Halevi's raya, you know. But in a zillion years, you wouldn't make this comparison. Neither would I. That's the question is asked. Paro was punished for punishing the Jews. The Maisa, Paro was forced to punish the Jews. So why is he punished?
Enjoyed it.
because he didn't do it because he was forced to. So here you see this concept, right? I didn't say something. That part you knew, right? No, but the Zushtel that it applies in other places, that's the base of Levi in Parsha Shemos. He says this idea. Now, besides. If a Chiloni driver what?
Help the Chiloni driver get to his destination. No.
Maza Kashur. What does that have to do with anything? No, here the question is you are causing somebody to be Machal Shabbos. That case, you're not the cause. Here you're telling the guy, you're calling him out of bed to go be Machal Shabbos. We don't do that to Chilonim. Right? Anyways, I'm not getting involved in that question. Now, why am I bringing it up? If I'm not mistaken, I know somebody that he went to Harvard Medical School, and he was asked, "Why do you want to be a doctor?" And he said, "Money," and they took him.
This is honest.
What?
This is honest.
Motivated.
You came to the right
Motivated.
If you go to Harvard, you get more money.
Motivated. Okay? Now, speaking about altruistic reasons, right? Now, the doctor says, I'm not going to operate unless you pay me beforehand. Does this affect whether it's permissible to use it? Whoever the doctor is, right? He says, I'm not doing this for free.
Free up front.
Up front. If not, rot.
You have to pay.
What?
It's the cost you have to pay.
No, I understand. But now he's a frummer doctor. When he does it, so he gets to Shemayim, does he go straight to Gehenna? Or does he go straight to Gan Eden? Was he Machal Shabbos or not?
We're talking about a from doctor who says, you came to him on Shabbos, I need this thing. He says, I'm going to do this procedure, but you have to pay me on Shabbos.
No, I'm not just going to you have to pay him on Shabbos or not. That's irrelevant. But he's only doing it, I'll deny that he gets paid.
So the first question was, can you, the doctor charge for treating someone?
Yeah, but for me to explain, you have to understand the question, right? Now the question is a different question than you thought originally, right?
So to have him on Shabbos and services are free is not such a...
What?
And others, it must, if not, then it must be that on Shabbos and services are free, which is obviously not the case.
Okay, so this is a fascinating question.
What about babysitters? Why do we have to go to doctors? Is there a reason why? No, is there a reason we chose such an extreme example, or babysitter would be the same?
I'm not sure what this.
Babysitter comes to your house at
You're not allowed to pay them.
You're not allowed to pay her.
No.
So the only reason why we got to the Shabbos is because you need the doctor for both members.
I asked you a different question altogether. I asked if he called a Machal Shabbos or not. Right, first. So now the question is, if you're going to say that he's not called a Machal Shabbos, right? Does that mean that he's allowed to be paid, or doesn't mean he's allowed to be paid? What's the halacha? Then it's similar to a babysitter, but it's a different. Possibly it's something else.
Why did you connect it?
If it would be called Chesed.
Am I allowed to pay a janitor to clean on Shabbos?
If it's part of his job, he cleans every day. Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand what you.
It's a problem to pay specifically for someone to work on Shabbos, so it has to be.
So the answer is that you're not allowed to. Right? Those are very long answers. So you're not allowed to charge someone comes to you and says, please pull out my tooth. Right? There's nothing you can do before Shabbos or after Shabbos. There's no before work, no after work. Can you charge him?
According to this, no.
What?
According to this, no.
Right. That's to be possibly. Now, why am I asking all this? We're not learning Hilchos Shabbos. When somebody needs, it's Sukkos, and there's a unbearable heat wave. A Pesach and an unbearable heat wave, and somebody needs his air conditioner fixed. So we call a guy in, and it's tzorchei guf. Could even be, as we learned last time, equal to oichel nefesh, and you're allowed to have a professional guy do it. Can he take money?
No.
I
want you to help me.
was about to say, how are you going to sidebar the fact that they're going to be busiest on Chol Hamoed?
Everyone's going to go.
Everyone's going to go to the dentist.
No, what if the person has expenses? As long as he incurs expenses, as long as only his.
You know what? I'm not going to be your accountant, but nobody's.
No,
that's not our question.
Just gives time or actually incurs an expense.
So it's
providing the service.
And therefore what?
Expecting him to lose.
Okay, this is the question. Let's just now let's see the halacha inside. Okay, but this is understand. This is the subject. Afilu malachos hamutaros, ena mutaros la'asaisan, ela la'atzmoi, o la'cherim b'chinam. Okay, very simple. Why? Because otherwise, you're working on Chol Hamoed. So if you're doing it as a Chesed, that's not called working. Right? That's the concept that we're trying to explore. Okay. So how could malachas? What is Mishnah Berurah already is getting nervous? Malachas hamutares kegan kol davar shu tzarich hamoed the boy shinoi, something which is you're allowed to do because tzarich hamoed. V'chein hed yishitir lo litro kedarkoi v'chein kamador shrasu mishum tircha av she'enu malacha mamish. You're allowed to do them if you need them l'tzarich hamoed. Avol b'schar aser. You're not allowed to work on Chol Hamoed. Miu im eino noisin lo ischar kotzuv ela sha'oichel imoy b'scharoi muter. Now there's a law in America which I would like to explore. Lahavdil. One must pay taxes for all income received. Okay. Mr. Gorelnik, Dr. Gorelnik is a dentist, and he has a customer. His name is Yehuda, and you charge him 100 shekel for that's what you want. So I said, but you say Yehuda, you're here. I have some trees that I would like some information about. Let's make a barter. You give me information on my trees, and I'll treat your tooth. The law in America is that you do not have to pay income tax on a barter. That's the law in America. At least when I was in school. I don't know if there is a law in America anymore altogether. But when I was in America, that was the.
Because there's no actual income gain.
There's no actual income gain. So exchanging services and there's no money that changed hands is not recognized as income. I don't know. You could say it this way, that way. I don't know why they made it that way. I could understand it either way, but kachaze. No, do we understand the concept? Even though both people gained, right? Okay.
So that's what's called the
Schara means that it's not done in the way of regular wages, and therefore we don't see it as a person being paid. You fixed my tooth. Here, have a candy. That's Beseder. Because the isser over here is the taking in the monies as a payment. All right. Now, whether Havla works or not, there are many places that say that Havla is osir, and the reason for that is a fascinating reason. I don't think everybody says like this, but I'd like to share with you the reason, because this is an introduction to Lumdus. What is the concept of Havla? We make a global payment. We do for what I call it, Chochi, right? So you pay for it Chochi. A person, what do people do Chochi?
Bus.
What? Bus, right. You do a bus, you do Chochi. So you can go 1,000 times, you can go one time. And so therefore, are you paying for your rides on Shabbos? It's muvla in the Chochi, so we don't see it as Schar Shabbos. Are you paying for your rides? Yes. So if the problem on Chol Hamoed is that you're not allowed to being paid, the fact that you double it up and you put it together with something else doesn't make it that you're not making money for Chol Hamoed. What?
Shabbos.
It's not Schar Shabbos.
Shabbos, the issue is Schar Shabbos.
It's Schar Shabbos. Here the issue is, are you doing it for money?
I made money for working.
Right. Here it's the making money for work. There it's called like the Mekach Homemka. It's a different. The Isser, the concept of the Isser, why it's Asr, is different, and therefore the halacha perhaps is different. I don't think that everybody agrees. I think some people would say possibly that Havla is mutter. But anyways, that's the concept over there we're talking about.
I'm a little confused.
I didn't hear the beginning what you said.
I'm a little confused.
Confused, okay.
I'm not sure. The problem is doing even a mutter type of malacha on Chol Hamoed and getting paid for it, or doing anything on Chol Hamoed that you get paid for. I'm not sure what the problem is.
Anything on Chol Hamoed that you're getting paid for, pashtus, anything, even if it's not a malacha.
So if a rab's invited to give a shir on Chol Hamoed at a certain place, and they offer to pay the rab so much for the shir, that would also be a problem.
I'm going. So we'll discuss that issue. I will just say,
I just looked it up to see about bartering, and according to what it says, you must include the gross income of the year, fair market value of the liquor service received for bartering.
I didn't hear
He
exactly.
says that it's been updated and that you have to declare it.
When was that? When did that happen?
I don't know, you have to report it to Schedule C, 11040.
I want to know what it was in 1970 to 1985. When I really couldn't care less what it is now. I said, well, this is what it was when I was in high school. I don't know what it is nowadays. I made that clear. I said I don't know what it is. But okay, all right. I'll have to keep it in mind next time I barter in America. Okay, first got to get there. Anyways, but thank you for the clarification. But that wasn't always like that. You have to. Is there a way to check that out?
I'll try.
Okay. Anyways, that's what people do during the sharing. So they used to doodle. Now we can do Google instead of doodle. Anyways, all right. So let's continue over here. Oh, so so the answer to your question is, even for things which are not malachas, the same thing would be true. Now I just want to take a step back and share with you something which I enjoy saying it over many times, even though I don't necessarily agree with the concept. But the Tzitz Eliezer says that a person who has a hotel, call it tzarchei mitzvah. In Siman Shin Vav, it discusses chazonim being paid for their services. And there are those who say that you're allowed to do it, but you don't see Siman Bracha. There's all kinds of reasons, and there's a steer between Hilchos Shabbos and Hilchos Rosh Hashanah. I'm not getting involved in the technical aspects. So there are those who want to say that being a doctor is a mitzvah, and therefore you're allowed to take money for it. the minig in Klal Yisrael is that people take money for their services that they do on Shabbos. So I just want to don't want to leave it so open-ended. But the most fascinating of the tshuvas on the subject, which I would like to share, is there is a major war between Eretz Yisrael and America about Hatzala guys going home after the job. Moshe Feinstein says that they're allowed to go back home because otherwise they will not perform the next time. Shlomo Zalman has a blistering tshuva in Mincha Shleima that will only say Matir Soifa Mishum Tchilasam only by a D'Rabbanan, not by a D'Oraisa, and therefore it doesn't work. Now I would just like to share with you a conversation I had with Rabbi Avrohom Baruch Goldberg about 20 years ago. And this is, I would like to drive home the point that halachas for real. So a Hatzala guy comes to me and he says, Rabbi, this is a true story. I want to know what I have to do for tshuva. I caused somebody to die. So I said, how so? He's not even a doctor. How so? So he says, it was 2 o'clock in the morning and my beeper went off. And the thing was at the other side of the neighborhood, and I heard somebody else who was closer say that they're going to get it, so I decided I'm going to go back to bed, and I put my head down and I said, what am I, crazy? You can't rely on anybody else. So I got up and I ran there, and if I would have been 30 seconds earlier, the person would still be alive. The other guy never showed up. The other guy never showed up. So it says, because I was an atzlin, somebody died. So I don't know what to do for tshuva. Now, what I answered him, that's not of any interest. So that's nothing to learn from at this point. I went to Rabbi Avrohom Goldberg, and I asked him the following question. I said, I have a Chiloni doctor, and I call him up, I need an emergency operation, and he says, I don't have a car, I can't come. So I said, I have a car, I'll pick you up. He says, yeah, but I know you guys, you're not going to take me back home. You're not going to take me back home, and I'm not interested in being in the hospital all the time. Get somebody else. So I tell him, I'll take you back home. Okay? So now I bring him to the hospital, he does the operation, and he said, okay, take me back home. I go, is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that what I'm supposed to do? This is a for sure. This a real. I'm asking a real question. I said that.
We're gonna go again.
What? Oh. So if you do that,
You're not going to trust different people.
so this is hitir saifa mishon tchilasan for sure, right? Now, Rabbi Avrohom was not forthcoming. He was not willing to say that you're allowed to take him home. We got into a little bit of a heavy argument over here on the subject. And if I'm not mistaken, I told him, I said, Rav Shlomo Zalman writes that if you have an operation in the emergency room, after the operation, the protocol is that you set up you clean it, I don't know, you prepare it, you
Disinfect.
you have to prepare it. Are you allowed to do that on Shabbos? So he says, of course. I said, why? Because what will be the next time? So I said to him, why is that mutter? He said, the hospital.
No, it's different.
What's different?
Because
What's different?
Nearly for sure, they're going to need to use the room again. And delaying being able to use the room is life-threatening. So you have to have the room ready.
And
not taking the guy home means next time you want to treat them, so they'll find someone else.
so why did you find somebody else now? Because you can't rely on it, you'll find somebody else. No, this is.
Right. So that's like.
It's the same subject.
I mean, today's easy electric cars, I guess.
Well, perhaps, but this is the question. This is the question of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach says that Hatzala cars. No, that's not what he said. It's a fascinating thing. It was, in the last publication in Maria that was printed after Shlomo Zalman died, but he wrote it before he died. Okay, not always is that what happens, but that's he said that the Hatzala truck can go back to Har Nof. It's a tshuva to Rabbi Reuben, and Rabbi Reuben asked him, "Why could it go back to Har Nof?" He said, "Because there'll be another call." So maybe you should go to Beit Vegan. Maybe they will call him Beit Vegan. He said, Hatzala should get a truck in Beit Vegan too.
So that changed to what you originally said?
No, that's assessed just like the hospital room. The same thing. The Hatzala truck could go back. I actually checked with Hatzala here many years ago. I don't get involved in these things usually. I asked them how many calls do they have that they go to Yerushalayim on Shabbos, and at what point do they not come back? In other words, it's 2 hours before Shabbos is over. Do they come back? You understand? These are real questions that have to be answered, and you have to know you have to know a lot of many things in order to answer these questions. But Echshahu, without getting involved over here, what a Seifa Mishon Tchilasa. I say the doctor is not coming again. It's not happening, right? So I said it's not Seifa Mishon Tchilasa. It's Tchilasa Mishon Tchilasa. This is an ongoing relationship. So I said, how could you have people that are continuously having to go on calls on Shabbos and they can't bring their cars back? Not only that, perhaps they need their cars for the next call. But we're not learning Hatzala right now. It's not the subject of our situation. Lehayom.
As it sits today, we were told by Hatzala guy that from A to B in Beitar, if you get a call in A, if you hear a call in A, don't go. There's enough Hatzala people. So, guy needs to come. If there's not enough Hatzala, I don't know what goes on in Beit Shammai, but still, wherever he is, there's enough people to cover.
You said something which has absolutely no halachic value. No, you have to know.
He might need his car for another call, but his next door neighbor could go for the.
So either it's true or it's not true. I don't know, right? There's not.
If that would be true, then
If there's no reason why one would have to do that. Now, just will tell you. What happens if the guy from B, he takes his car and he goes, is he Machal Shabbos? What?
Not so sure.
He's not.
You're not so sure which way?
Not so sure he's not, because the guy said he couldn't.
No, he doesn't know that. Zilbashin is once read the true, and it's exactly this case. One guy thought someone else was going to go, and he thought I'll still go in case whether he was.
That's for sure that's mutter. That's for sure mutter. It's a Mishnah about the Eidim for Kiddush HaChodesh. Anyways, but lo mishaneh. Let's just get back to where we're over here. So Bitzuk Chol Inspector says schar for being a doctor is a derabanan. The isser of taking wages is a derabanan. It's like Mekach HaMemkid, it's all derabanans. So a doctor who is not going to get paid will be loathsome to go. And therefore you're allowed to go, you're allowed to take the money.
Even according to
Shul's not talking about a deraisa. Here's a derabanan. Yeah, well, I don't think they ever met. But yeah, so this is I will just share with you something, and this is important. Perhaps in this year I'll give you a tip in a practical approach to life. First, I'll tell you what the Briskero said. There's a machlokes exactly which way he said it, but both are basically the same thing. He says everything you pay for, the cheapest way is with money. And the other gear says that he said everything you pay for, the most expensive is for free. But either way, it's not, I don't know if there's a machlokes between the two gear size or not, but the point I think is I had somebody who is a mental health professional that asked me the following question. I work for the city, and these people fit the parameters to get me on the city, and they came to me private. Should I tell them that they should go through the city? Is that incumbent upon me to do or not? So you would say yes, right? I said no. I said no. I said the metzius is, I don't even want to hear what you have to say. The person that comes to you in private practice will get better service than the person who comes to you in the city. One second. There are dentists that work for the Kupah and they have private practices. Do you think they work the same? Gil, you don't know? You don't know.
I don't know.
I wish I was so as ignorant as you.
No, it depends on your. If the environment is equally the same, then yeah.
I have a different level of responsibility. Well, I'm going to share with you. I have a different level of responsibility. I will share with you something. My personal life. I am a rabbi in a few places. Not everybody gets the same service. The people who are, well, he's used the word. What?
There's hierarchy, default.
Why?
Because that's the main.
The relationship demands it.
Right.
If you're talking about a mental health issue, you're not getting the same service. That's what I told the person. I said, I don't think that I think you're doing them a disservice by telling them to go to the city. I said, unless you, and I explained to the person, if you feel that you give, as my wife would say, equal schmeequal in both places, then nobody should tell them. What?
Or they can't afford it, or whatever. All things being equal, then...
But I just say, what?
Could be the issue doesn't require such a...
This is a mental health issue. It always does. It always does. Okay, and why am I saying this? Because the doctor who gets paid, he does his job.
You feel something you don't get paid.
So I'm just saying that Yitzchak Elchonen's heter was a heter because they'll do a better job, or they'll do it. Just pointing out that this idea is very relevant. But kol davar, this is again. I'm not. Each thing has its own shulchan aruch to it, but one should be aware of that. Anyways, what's this marker telling me? Where am I supposed to be? Okay. The davra ovid mutar l'asais b'svar kotzuv. If you're talking about a davra ovid, so there it became 100% mutar to do. It's in a different realm, and therefore you're allowed to get paid for it regularly. Now, there's a fascinating machlokes over here in the Sha'ar Tzion, which I would like to. I have a davar ovid that has to be done. Now, I would like to say something which is perhaps very fashionable or very unfashionable. I'm not sure. There in this country, there is a push. Let's say we're living before October 7th, okay? To have avodah ivrit, not to have Arabs do things. It's Chol Hamoed. I have a davar ovid. Should I take a Jew or should I take a guy?
A Jew that needs money. A Jew, but I need the one that needs the money.
Okay, let's say I don't have that Jew available. In other words, the guy need a dentist, right? All dentists are rich. I don't know if anybody know that. right? So I can't find a Jewish dentist that right for free, right? So I have a choice. I think.
From the States from the 1970s.
I don't say, right? I don't say it doesn't work, right? I need a guy to. It's a professional job.
It's very trustable.
What?
Very trustable.
No, let's see what it says over here.
Devar of aid is.
I didn't know what you said.
Devar of aid
Yeah.
is applied. It's something you personally. If you do not do this, you will lose a large amount of money. Or what happens if you're working for an employer, and the employer decides he wants something done on Chol Hamoed, it's his devar of aid. He's not going to sack you if you don't do it, perhaps.
I'm going to answer your question the way I perceive it. First, I'm going to tell you two things. The question is an excellent question, and like most questions, I don't always answer exactly the same. But there's somebody who I know that they said that you have to come in on Chol Hamoed, and if not, we're going to find reason to fire you. And they were fired. There is something called yachas between the employer and the employee. Chol Hamoed is a very temperamental time. When the employer feels that he does not have the allegiance of his employee, the relationship starts to fall apart. So my rule of thumb is, if they want you to work and you can't get out of it easily, it's a davar ovid. The davar ovid is your relationship. Now, and that's you can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Now, if the ma'avid would come and ask me, that's a different question. But you're as the poel. So, did I answer you?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't usually happen. Okay. All right. Let's just see the mutalasas afilo shelo litzarach hamoed, if it's a davar ovid, v'hu ma'aseh uman. Okay. V'ayim bir halacha im yochol limtza akom nochon shelo yiskar Yisraelim. No avodah ivri. What?
It's not supposed to be working.
Well, no, but for this you're allowed to work.
No, the Jew not supposed to.
No, but for this you're allowed to work.
You yourself.
Even he.
You get a non-Jew to do it.
1 second. If there's no guy,
If there's no God.
so now why did the guy become the option? Look at the charts here. L'cheinu gam came das alavush. The davar sheyochol asa yedei akum lo yisker Yisrael. Va'af shel Yerabah pikpek sham al dvarov. The mechtesi. The davar ovid now became mutter. So why shouldn't the Jew make money? Mikamokom lechatchila bevadai nochon lizor b'zeh. Not so clear. You know, it's, on the top he says no Jew. On the bottom he's a little bit more sympathetic. Okay.